Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to get on here today with a diet video, and it's been a long time since I've just sat down and talked about diet goals, what I'm trying to do every day with diet and exercise. And I wanted to do this because I'm putting out a lot of vlogs where we're eating, I'm showing you what I'm eating and I'm putting recipes down there. And then people will say, well, what are you shooting for? What calories are you shooting for? What carbs are you shooting for? So I wanted to do a video that every time I do one of those, I can just link this down below and it will answer all your questions about my diet. So I'm going to jump right into this, and I'm just going to start with telling you generally what I shoot for. I'm counting protein. I'm not counting it, but I'm watching protein, fat, carbs, and calories. Those are pretty much my main things I'm focusing on. And this is Atkins maintenance. I started 20 years ago and did the induction of Atkins, the real low. And ever since then, this is the Atkins maintenance that you actually can live on. And I generally do live on this. I say generally because, we all fall off occasionally, but this is what I'm living on. So on Atkins maintenance, I am shooting for, with my carbs, I'm shooting for pretty much all healthy carbs. I eat one piece of bread a day, and I might have, a lot of days I'll have a handful of crackers, like gluten-free Milton's crackers. Hang on, let me get those. Okay, I just went and grabbed quite a few things from the kitchen. Okay, hang on. Okay, the breads that I eat. In the morning, I always eat a piece of bread. I would say 99.9% of the time, I'm eating a piece of gluten-free toast because I have to have carbs. I have to have at least, I'm going to say 50 on a normal basis. I'm shooting for 50 to 100 carbs a day. I always have a piece of bread in the morning to be sure I get at least some carbs in the day. If I'm being really, low carb the rest of the day, I've had this. The reason I do that is because my head does not feel good if I go too low on carbs. I don't know why, but I get foggy. I don't feel good. My brain doesn't feel healthy for me. It feels horrible. So I always have a piece of gluten-free toast in the morning. And then at night, I would say more often than not, I have a handful or two of gluten-free Milton's crackers, or I love these Lance gluten-free crackers. These are delicious. Sometimes they're hard to find, but they're good. I'll eat that. So I have about 2 servings of, I think that's a simple carb. I would have that. The rest of my carbs, I'm shooting for vegetables for carbs for the rest of that. And fruit, very sparingly. Very sparingly. I can't eat a lot of fruits, set my appetite off. When you go too low carb, it takes your appetite away. When I go too high carb, I have sugar cravings. So I'm shooting for somewhere right in the middle of that, a sweet spot where I'm not losing my appetite, but my sugar cravings aren't set off. And for me, that's 50 to 100 healthy carbs a day. A lot of fruits set me off into the setting off my appetites and sugar cravings area. I don't do watermelon well. If I ate watermelon and would just eat as much watermelon as I want, I would be fine. Watermelon sets me off to where I end up eating chocolate cake, cookies. It sets me off bad, and I love watermelon. I cannot do it well. I have to be careful with cantaloupe, and that's a low-carb fruit. I have to be careful with berries. My best fruit, and I can eat this just about every day, is apples. You'll see that in my food vlogs. I eat fresh apples with salt. I'll eat those with peanut butter. It's delicious. I eat it with nuts, or I'll just eat the apple. I do real well on apples. I also like to cook apples. I do great on those. But berries that are low carb, I cannot do that. I can't do a lot of those. I can't do a lot of watermelon. When I say I can't do them, I mean it sets off my appetite. Sets off those sugar cravings. It makes me bloated. So I'm shooting for 50 to 100 carbs a day. If I'm wanting to kind of lose and get back on track, I'm down around 50. So that's what I'm shooting for, okay? My carbs are healthy carbs, 1 to 2 simple carbs a day. Vegetables and fruits. My simple sugars are rare. Cakes, cookies, very, very, very rare that I'm doing that. It just makes me feel bad. It sets off my cravings. It makes me bloated, like all of us. So I really try not to do that. Where simple sugars, like just really simple sugars, get into my diet, bread and butter pickles, I eat with chicken salad a lot. And I eat these a lot of mornings, and I don't count the carbs in them, and I don't really worry about them. They don't set off my appetite, and I love my bread and butter pickles. I also put a little bit of sugar in my first cup of coffee during the day, and I put jelly on my toast if I'm having eggs. And I don't worry about those, and I don't count those. I don't count the calories or the carbs because the rest of my diet is pretty clean, and so I just don't worry about that, and I've never really had a problem with it. So that's the areas where my simple sugars will sneak in. Pickles, jelly, and I'll do that every morning, and I would do this, every day and not really have a problem with it. For fruits, I'm really cautious about my fruits. I've already covered that. Fats, I don't count my fat. I don't worry about fat. I don't chase fat, but I don't worry about fat. I'll eat 4 or 5 big giant tablespoons of peanut butter. I'll eat some nuts, like a handful of nuts. I guess I'm mindful of it, but more for the calories than the fat. I get fat in red meat. I would eat red meat every day. I don't really count my fat because when you're really watching your carbs, the fat is not really it doesn't really affect me. The only exception to that is cream in my coffee. If I add real whipped cream to my coffee, I will start chunking up. Doesn't set off my cravings, but I just notice I get a little thicker in the middle. I carry a little extra padding. So that's the only fat, though, that I really watch. I use butter. I eat peanut butter, nuts, and it makes me feel really good. So I don't worry about that. Somebody recently asked me about salt, asked me if I worry about salt. I don't worry about salt. In fact, I like to get a little bit of salt. I don't have high blood pressure or a heart condition that I'm watching, so everybody's going to be different with that. Not telling you this will work for you. I like a little salt because I'm so low carb. I know I think iodine or sodium is something that is one of the electrolytes. Hold on. Sodium is one of the electrolytes. And I'll talk about these in a minute. But if I'm really, really low carb, I want to get some salt because my body starts dumping water. And that protects me against dumping too much water. Calories. Okay, y'all. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a disclaimer. This may not work for everybody, and it may not work for you. My calories are pretty darn low. I feel good on that. I have experimented over 30 years of what feels good to me. I feel great, around 1,000 to 1,100 calories a day, and that keeps me at the size I want to be. When you are making food choices healthy and clean, your calories are pretty low if you're watching your carbs, because if I'm mostly eating meat and a handful of bread or crackers, it's going to be pretty low. I don't drink any calories, so I naturally can eat a lot of food. I can eat a lot of food and stay around 1,000 to 1,100. I'm never hungry. So my calories, I'm shooting for 1,000 to 1,100 a day. I feel great on that. So when I eat more, I feel sluggish. I feel weighed down. I don't feel good on much more than that. I'd go up to 12 or 13, but no more than that on a regular basis. Of course, Thanksgiving, yeah, I'm gonna eat 2,000 to 3,000 even, but not on a regular basis. Cheat days. I don't plan cheat days. Now, in the past, I used to plan cheat days, and when I plan a cheat day, it's all I think about. When's that cheat day coming? What am I going to have for cheat day? When I got off gluten, that's another thing. I'm gluten-free. When I got off gluten, it really took care of a lot of my cheat days because I can't cheat on gluten or I feel horrible. My body starts twitching. I get muscle twitches. I hurt all over. I'll tell you, if you get off gluten, it's a no-go, no going back type of thing. Your body doesn't like it anymore. So I can't, have a lot of cheats that I might have otherwise. But no, I don't plan cheat days. Okay, I'm going to talk about supplements real fast. If I go too low on my carbs too many days in a row, I will take electrolytes. This safeguards my body against dumping minerals. And I would recommend if you are doing keto or you're going low carb, this. I usually don't take an electrolyte because I'm not usually that low. 50 to 100, that's a good healthy amount of carbs that I can stay real lean on and not feel bad. So I don't really take electrolytes, but I do keep them. If I can tell when I get low, if I go too low and I need an electrolyte, this is what I'm feeling. Almost too energetic, foggy. My body is dumping water. I'm almost too thin and ropey looking. Like I don't have that right now, but I get almost too thin. And I have past videos where I've been editing and thought, you are too skinny. And it's always because my carbs are too low. And don't hate me for saying that. If you've gone real low carb for a real long time, you can get ropey looking and too drawn down. I don't like that look either. So I will take my electrolytes. I take nutritional yeast. This is high in B vitamins. I love this for it just relaxes my body. I must need it. I do about a tablespoon of that a day. I'm taking sea buckthorn omega-7s. Heard about that on Wendy, that Life Wendy. And I do that for facial fat loss. It's supposed to prevent that. And for heart health, I believe is what that's good for. I take a zinc with a quercetin and zinc that one of you girls told me about, and vitamin D. Those are my vitamins, but the ones that I consider important for my diet are the electrolytes, and I take those when I'm real low carb. And I think that's everything. I hope I included everything with my diet, shooting for 50 to 100 healthy carbs a day, about 1,000 to 1,100 calories. I don't count fat, but I'm not scared. I don't count fat. I'm not scared of it, but I'm not chasing it. I don't watch my salt. I'm real careful with my fruits. And I would say that's my main diet. And, to help me stay on that, I just cook a lot of real good protein, healthy carb meals that I keep made up in the fridge. I keep protein snacks like chicken salad is always made up, taco soup, Mexican mess, cheesy chicken. I just keep a lot of good protein and apples around for snacks. Oh, I know what I left out. I kind of intermittent fast. I eat twice a day. I eat a late breakfast. I eat about 11 o'clock during the day. And then I don't eat again until that night. I might eat a snack, but the breakfasts I eat hold me all day long. I will link some vlogs down below so you'll know what I eat. But I eat breakfast late, and then I go all day long, and then I eat dinner early in the evening. And so that is what I do. That's kind of an intermittent fast. During the day, if I get hungry, I'll eat an apple with peanut butter or just an apple. And I always salt the apple, eat peanut butter or nuts with it, and that's really usually my only snack. So it's real easy. A late breakfast, kind of an early dinner, like, I don't know, not really early, 6 or 7, and a snack. All right, I'm going to talk about workouts and what I shoot for. This will be fast, and you can get more of this by watching my vlogs and any other past diet videos. I shoot for 5 cardios a week. I do my Peloton bike in here for 45 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week, and then I'm shooting for 2 to 3 weight workouts a week, doing Les Mills body pump. And if you don't know what that is, I will link some past videos down below. I've talked about that in a lot of other videos, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing for my workouts right now, and I think that's everything. So anyway, if you have any questions, put those down below, and I think that's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.